Hey everyone, it's Rob from Alliance RV. You know, outside the leaves are changing, and that means changing from running your air conditioning to running your furnace. So let's take a few minutes to go over normal operation of your furnace and a few tips on things to check for if your furnace isn't working as advertised. First off, let's talk about normal operation. For your furnace to run properly, it needs direct current or DC voltage from your battery and propane from your tanks. So let's assume that we have proper battery voltage and a good supply of propane. Okay, we're going to go to our middle AC control or the thermostat control right here, and we're going to select heat and adjust the temperature to your desired setting. So I'm going to select heat. Make sure it's above what's here in the coach at 72. You can see it pulsing, and you can hear it click, and that click coincides with, I can hear the blower motor going. Right now what it's doing is it's running, and it'll run for approximately about 15-20 seconds while it purges the combustion chamber before it lights off. And if you put your hand over the vent, you'll feel the kind of cold air right now, and then you'll feel it turn warm after the furnace lights off. If it's really quiet, you might actually even hear the whoosh of the furnace lighting off. It'll run until the thermostat reaches its desired setting, the temperature that you set, and then the furnace, the burner will stop, and then the blower will run again for about 30 seconds or so after it shuts down. So when I select off, you hear it click. It basically cut power to the gas valve. That shuts off, and the blower is going to continue to run for about 30 seconds or so while it purges the combustion chamber. So that's normal operation. Okay, the next scenario is probably air in the line. So you go over here and you select heat on your thermostat, and after a few minutes the blower comes on, but nothing happens and it just shuts off. Okay, so when that happens, it's likely that you may have air in your gas line. So this may be from you just swapping out the LP tanks or something. But what you can do is go over to your stove and turn on one of the burners for about 5 to 10 seconds. This will pull the gas through the lines and get rid of that system, the air in the system. Then go back to your thermostat, turn it off, and then back on to heat. And this will reset the control board and allow the furnace to try to light again. All right, so next scenario is you come over here and your thermostat and the screen is blank. So if you have nothing right here on the screen, then what you can do is just kind of take it off the wall, kind of pop it up, and pull it out here, and we'll look at the back. And this 3-amp fuse right here, if that is blown, then you will not get any power to your thermostat. So that is one thing you can check. If for some reason, like I said, you're trying to use your furnace and you're not probably using air conditioning. So if your furnace, if the thermostat fuse blows on this one and you need a spare, you can obviously go to the one right next to it if you're not using the air conditioner and swap it out until you can get a replacement. So if you have a blank screen, nothing's happening, that's likely what it is the blown fuse right there. Okay, so your next scenario is that you go to set the heat on your thermostat and it kind of pulses and looks like it's working, but the blower motor doesn't come on. You go over there's no air coming out of the vent. So this could be several things, but the quickest one is to verify the condition of your 15-amp fuse in the number 9 position of your fuse panel. So find your fuse panel right here, open it up, and go down here to find the number 9 fuse. And the number is actually on the one side of it. So in this case, it's this one. I actually turned it upside down so you could see which one it is. Okay, a red light might be on corresponding to it if it's burned out, but it may not be. And it's also over here on your panel. You can see it says furnace number 9 over there. So what I want you to do, these work just like automotive fuses. Just pull it out, check it, visually check it. If you have a multimeter, you can do a continuity check on it to see if it's working. If that's blown, you won't get any power to the furnace, so all you have to do is replace that 15-amp fuse and try it again. All right, for this next scenario, I've come out here outside and I've actually removed the 4 screws on this panel to take this panel off to show you. And also, when you're out here, make sure that your power cord is not in line with your exhaust over here so it doesn't burn your cord. So I've taken the screws out already. I'm going to just shimmy this away and take the panel off, and I just want to show you. So usually this scenario will only happen the first time that you go to use your furnace, because after that you'll leave the switch on. If you go inside and you set it for heat and you hear the blower come on, and instead of the furnace lighting off after running for about 30 seconds, the blower motor just shuts off. In this case, this service switch right here, I'll just kind of zoom in a little closer. Okay, this switch right here is probably in the off position. If it's in the off position, then power won't be able to go to it to get to start. So if you can turn that, make sure it's on the on, then and then put your panel back on and try it again. And while we're out here, I'll just go over the last scenario. Is when your furnace has been running but shuts off intermittently. This is called cycling on the high limit. So this can be caused by the furnace getting too hot, and the high limit cutoff switch, which is on the back side of this furnace. If you pull it out, it's on the back side, and it cuts off because it's running too hot. It needs to cool off. So what's potentially causing this is it's most likely negative back pressure or an air leak at the furnace itself. So this casing right here, this cabinet it's called, could be loose on the back side, and it could be creating more heat in that area inside your cargo compartment. So you can take off the door right beside your water panel, and you can look in there. You can feel it. If it's really hot, then that might be the case. Also, your vent duct lines, if they're really coiled up and not direct, making a lot of turns and loops and stuff like that, that could also be causing what's called negative back pressure and causing it to heat up prematurely. The other thing is, most likely, is check the vents in your coach to make sure that something isn't blocking them, obstructing them, and causing that negative back pressure. This could be a pillow that falls off in the middle of the night. You wake up and it's really cold in the coach, and you're like, what happened? Kick some pillows that block the vent, and all of a sudden this thing keeps switching off. Also check your kitchen island to make sure that those aren't being obstructed. The same thing. So these are a few of the things, and I hope that you gain a little more perspective here. While I'm in here, I'll show you just point a couple things out. This exhaust intake, this is what we call the sail switch right here. As the blower motor turns, it closes that. This is the blower motor inside here, wiring diagram. This is where the gas line comes in, and further back in there is the control board. Well, I hope this was helpful. At Alliance, we do believe in owner empowerment. However, while these are things that you can potentially check yourself, never hesitate to reach out to the team with concerns or if you require service. Until next time, safe travels and happy camping.